It's so nice to have you here on Tough Talks, where we talk about tough stuff. I just came up with that. I'm super stoked you're here. Fresh creative strategist. I have a list of questions for you. Let's get into it. My first question. First thing that we all notice about you, you are a jack of all trades. You are a photographer, you shoot video, you do creative strategy, you've managed like paid campaigns before. You're also a dog dad. Like, tell me, what is a skill that you have in your quiver that we might not yet know about?
Oh man, that is a good question. That's a deep one. Deep cut. When I was in high school, I was very into music. For a long time, I thought I was going to be a musician, and that did not pan out. But I had all the nerdy tools to be a music producer at one point. So I'd like record myself playing all the different things and try and make songs, and they weren't that great. But some of that has actually been useful when it comes to like video editing or using audio for video projects. So it's come in handy, but not in the way that I had originally thought it would.
That's super cool. Did it originate around a particular instrument, or was it a lot of like digital track creation, or what's your niche there?
My instrument of choice is guitar, and my best friend of all time is a drummer. So in high school, he and I started like jamming together, and it was just like trying to put things together. And yeah, so that's just kind of how it started.
I love that. That's awesome. Okay, well, that's a nice segue into my next question. Your portfolio, your online portfolio, I found it, and it is full of incredible photography, all of which is of live shows or musicians. What's the allure of shooting shows?
Man, you dug deep for sure.
It was like the second hit on Google.
Oh, geez, doing something right. Yeah, I started shooting concerts and live stuff in college. I just kind of fell into it. I actually had a friend who was in a band, and as I was starting to get into photography, he was like, "Do you shoot bands?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I just kind of fell in love with it. I mean, there's all kinds of like cool lighting and stage presence, and obviously being a music lover, it was a way to kind of peek into that industry without having to be a musician on stage.
Well, your stuff's super cool. It looks like I'm always curious about like what goes on backstage, and so it's fun to see like your perspective from backstage onto the audience. So
Yeah,
your
it's a lot
stuff's
of
really
work
cool
that
too.
happens backstage.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Okay, additional question for you. Part of being a creative strategist is never running out of ideas. So how do you keep your brain full of them?
Luckily, we have social media that is just a constant stream of people being creative and ideas. So I think it's just important to follow people that are doing cool stuff, and to just try and think of different ways to tweak those ideas to work for whatever it is that you're working on. And I think that's something that we do a lot at Tuff, and we do it well as a team. I mean, we've got a lot of people who kind of do that and just operate that way when they're scrolling their feeds in their free time.
That is so true. That creative, internal creative inspiration channel is never quiet.
You know.
Yeah. Okay, you are brand new to the Tuff team. This is end of week 2, which is awesome. Which it feels like it's been a year and a day. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yes, I'm sure you do. Okay, what's one thing about Tuff that surprised you that you didn't expect?
I was surprised that as a fully remote company, just how many great systems and processes there are in place and how tight communication is, because I'm used to working in person, and I feel like communication is one of those things that you just kind of take for granted and you just assume that it's great all the time. But being fully remote like really polarizes that aspect of it. And there's definitely been times where it's become evident that there's just some great communicators at this company and great processes that kind of facilitate that.
I love that. I'm glad. That's a good surprise.
Yes, for sure.
Pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one final question for you. I would like to know a little bit more about your road trip in which you and your brother spent a year in a van traveling around the country. Can you tell me, get into a story? What is something unexpected that happened? What's like your favorite story to tell from that year when you're sitting around having a beer?
How much time do you have?
As much as you have.
Oh, geez. I'll keep it quick. I mean, all kinds of just like really cool, unique, interesting people that we met along the way. And we have some just crazy memories that we never would have dreamed of having those experiences. But like off the top of my head of just unexpected things that you wouldn't think of with living in a van is just trying to find like clean water, because we had like a little sink situation. We would just pump our water to drink, and trying to find places to fill up water was kind of hard. So we found through YouTube or a blog or something that at Lowe's they sell this little metal attachment thing, and you can pretty much walk up to the side of any building, use this little adapter at a water spigot and get clean water. So I mean, there were many times that we were just in a Walmart parking lot just dragging our 10-gallon jug up to the side of a Walmart and like, we'll get water. So,
I love that.
it's like weird little things like that. It's like I just never thought I would be doing that.
Things that you totally take advantage or take
Yeah.
for granted when you're just like living your life with running water and
Yeah.
unlimited electricity. And yeah.
Exactly.
I bet that
Crazy.
was really nice to come back to a running sink.
Oh, it's
after
the
trip was
best.
over.
It's the best.
I also noticed this one funny thing that you wrote on LinkedIn was that you drove up to Alaska and you would recommend it to anybody, but you flew to Hawaii.
Yeah.
And the way that you wrote that just made me giggle.
Well, anytime, because we claimed that we went to all 50 states, which we did, but by van. And so everybody's always like, oh, but did you drive to Hawaii? And it's funny, like the first few times, and then you're like, okay, I just got to put this out there.
I just got to get ahead of that one.
Don't
Everyone thinks they're unique and funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us here on Tuff Talks.
Thank you for having me.
We'll catch you around.